So for our first circuit today, we're gonna go through, I've got two different options. We're gonna go through the simpler, not easy, but simpler option first, and at the very end I'll go through the more complex option if you wanna get fancy. We're gonna start with two dumbbells. After we've warmed up, we've done our med ball slam, we've done some getting our shoulders loose, maybe move through your whole range of motion, do some plyometric ball slamming or some push-ups, maybe some hangs, rows in the TRX, something like that. Just get those shoulders moving, those shoulder blades moving around the rib cage, a little overhead work, a little core work, and get the blood flowing. We're gonna take two dumbbells. They're gonna be heavier. We're gonna work on a weight with a weight that is too much for us to press overhead. So start here. We're gonna use our body to cheat our weight up. So we're gonna squat down a little bit and pop. We're gonna catch at the top, and the magic of this is gonna be pulling down. So we use our body to help us cheat, and we don't cheat by arching our back. We cheat by using our legs, control the descent down. I like to start with a neutral grip here, and then as I press, I rotate, my palms come up. I keep my arms in what we call scaption plane. So my elbow's a little bit in front of my shoulder, my torso's upright. Most people have at least some limited shoulder mobility to where getting directly overhead is going to be a challenge for them. Not everybody, but a lot of people do, and so we don't want to use that spot. So keep the arms in that scaption plane just in front of the elbow, just in front of the shoulder, and that'll keep our shoulder so much happier. It's not 1000% perfect, but it's pretty darn close, and it's going to keep our shoulder happy and keep us fighting so we can die another day. So again, the magic is going to be on that eccentric, pulling our elbows down to our side. Here, pause, we're up. Now we're only gonna do 6 to 8 of these. If you can really push the weight, get 6, all right? And if you really need to lighten it up a little bit, go 8. They're supposed to be heavy. And again, the magic what we're really focusing on is on the way down, the eccentric. And then we're gonna take a band. I've got an orange band here from Rogue. If you have another band, that's fine. If you don't have a band, you can use a towel and do an isometric. That works here too. We're gonna be in what I like to call the Statue of Liberty pose. So my knee, my ashy knee is gonna be up, okay? Keeping my right leg on the right side, left leg on the left side. I'm using this left glute to hold me up along with my core. Notice how my foot is not back here. This is not the Statue of Liberty position. We're gonna be out here. My foot's kicked, you're gonna feel your hip flexors turn on, and that's literally why we're doing that, okay? Band always has tension in it. We're gonna be here, I'm starting at my eye level, and I'm pulling down to my chest. I'm pulling that band through my chest. Notice how my hands and my arms stay straight the whole time. I'm gonna do 10 here with my left leg down, 8, 9, 10 without missing a beat, 1, 2, and I'm active with my foot. So if you can, do this barefoot, but use that foot to spread out. Spread those toes and push them down into the ground. Okay, like you're leaning out over those toes. Not all the weight in your toes, but you want the foot to have a balanced weight front to back, okay? So we've got the overhead presses. We're gonna do 6 to 8 reps, okay? We're gonna come between 8 and 10 reps each side on the Statue of Liberty band pull-aparts. You'll rest for a minute or two, okay? Then we'll come back. Keep going up with that weight if you can. Now, I mentioned at the beginning, we've got a little bit more advanced version of the shoulder. So, if you're looking for strength, if you're looking for strength or you're a beginner, and then not necessarily if you're a beginner, does that mean that you're not looking for strength? You can be very advanced and still be looking for strength or in a strength emphasis, and then if that's your situation, then get some heavy weights and go after that eccentric shoulder press, okay? But this is gonna be more athletic, more power-driven move, so we're not gonna have a maximum weight. It's going to be a full body move, so we're going to get our lower body into this. And we're going to do a landmine clean and press. So I've got a nice sleeve landmine set up. They have post landmines. You got all sorts of different landmines. The home plate looking one. Really, you're just sticking a barbell in a corner. So as long as you can control it, as long as it's your stuff and you ain't breaking somebody else's stuff, because it can tear a wall up, stick a towel in there. Really, we're just sticking a barbell in a corner. I'm going to start with my outside leg out. Okay, it's going to be in front of the bar here. My inside hand is going to grab the landmine, okay? I'm going to use my legs to push up and rip. And I'm pulling, this is the first step, the landmine up. I'm going to then transfer my momentum and come through with my rear hand and step with my inside foot. Up. There we go. Get set, we're not in a hurry. Catch it coming down. Be careful on the way down. That weight's coming at you. Don't be in a hurry. Again, I'm driving off this foot, using the momentum, stepping, rotating with this inside foot as my left hand meets. my outside hand means. Rip, catch, and own this position here. Let it back down. Again, using that leg to rip and pull at the same time, coming around, stepping, and reaching with the outside. Don't rush the reps. You don't have to go from 1 to 2 to 3 real fast. Get that good rip, catch, set it back down, get yourself set, make sure you're happy, ready to go. Hit that. So that's a good substitution if you want to emphasize power, if you're kind of trying to lean out, if you want to do some more coordination, or if you're training for sport, might be a better option than those heavy overhead presses. If you're going for strength, or if you're a beginner, you're not comfortable with swinging landmine barbells around, then stick with that overhead press. It's also a great exercise. Have fun. For our second circuit here, we're gonna do a towel row with a kettlebell, and we're gonna do a duck under here. I've got a barbell set up. You can set up a band. To be honest with you, you don't even really need something as long as you're intentionally getting low, and I'll kind of explain that in a second. We'll start with our row. So I've got just a towel. It's a towel from Lululemon. Thank you, Lululemon. All right, you can use any towel. They all work, okay? We're gonna straddle an elevated surface. So this can be a couch and a table. This can be, I've got obviously a big tire. You can get 2 steps, 2 stools, 2 chairs, whatever, something to get your feet up. If you have plates, you can stand on top of the plates. We're gonna hold the towel with our thumbs down, just like that. We looped it through the kettlebell, okay? If you don't have a kettlebell, you can use a dumbbell, you can use the edge, that works fine too. Something heavy, load a backpack up with a bunch of books, that works too. Loop it through the shoulder straps. We're gonna squat down, dropping our hips back. Now my legs are my foundation, so my legs are working here. I've got my weight in my toes. It's in my heels as well, but it's also in my toes. It's balanced front to back. I don't wanna be way back here. I don't wanna be all the way forward. My hips, my butt and my legs are supporting me as I row. I'm not moving my squat at all. So I'm not standing up. I'm keeping my legs still as I move my shoulder blades, keeping that spine nice and still, nice and tall, nice and long. Big squeeze. I'm gonna do 12 reps. After that, I'm gonna come here. I've again got my bar set up to about chest height. Okay, maybe a little lower, maybe lower belly. Okay, that height as well. Okay, whatever works best for you and your mobility. We stand with really close to the bar. Again, you don't have to use this bar. You can just use space. We're gonna take a step out, drop under, and come back up. And stand to the other side. Drop down. Notice I'm keeping my chest, my face, my body upright. And I drop my pelvis into my seat. Okay, dropping down, pulling with my hip flexors, pulling myself down, coming up on the other side. So every time I take a step, I step, duck low, come under, back up the other side. You can hold a kettlebell here, you can hold a dumbbell here, you can hold a plate, you can hold a baby, you can hold a backpack, you can hold a gallon of water, you can hold whatever you like right here at your chest. It'll help you out. Again, keeping that chest up. Don't let yourself collapse in that squat. I know that you can do that. We want to keep that chest up, drop underneath. You can kind of see how I don't actually need the barbell there. So, 12 here, 12, you pass under the bar 12 times, so it's going to be 6 each side, okay? Now, we have options here, guys. We're going for strength here, so we're going to go pretty heavy here, and I've been going pretty heavy here, all right? If you're not going heavy, if you're wanting to lean out a little bit for the warm weather, maybe go a little bit lighter on here, increase the reps by 4 to 10, or excuse me, 4 to 6, and then add like a med ball slam or a short sprint or something right after this, okay? And then rest 2 minutes, okay? So we're going here, doing our rows. Again, keep your weight down in your legs. So we squat down, keep your weight here, and then we're just moving that towel with that kettlebell. And then here, ducking under, 6 on each side. Make sure we drop down low, step, and slide over into our standing hinge today. So if my working leg is my left leg here, I'm gonna have my foot flat, again, spreading the toes, pushing the toes and the feet into the ground, especially that toe box. I'm gonna hinge, so I'm moving only at the hip, reaching back to my ankles, I get that big stretch, and I come back up. I'm allowed to tap my foot at the top. In fact, I encourage it so we can get our balance back. Okay, I wanna make sure that I'm not moving at the spine. So I'm not reaching here, I'm not throwing my weights way far out, and this trail leg matches my upper body. So as I come up, my trail leg goes down. As my chest goes down, my trail leg goes up. And then I come back up. And I make nice smooth movements, and I'm gonna do 8 on each leg, okay? Again, we're going for strength, so we really wanna load that up. Get 2 heavy kettlebells, get 2 heavy dumbbells, get a kid, get something that weighs something. And we're reaching back, for that ankle. Keep it in your hamstrings and glutes. If you're starting to feel like your low back, check how far you're going. Make sure that you're not going beyond the hip. Make sure that you're keeping your spine straight, and make sure that that back leg is traveling with you. So my left leg was on the ground for that hinge, so it was my working leg. So now I'm going to come to a band. I've got a red band set up here at about mid-thigh. Okay, so it's below my waist, above my knee. All right, the placement is not overly important. It just needs to be somewhere below your hips. So my left leg was working. I've got, therefore, my left leg back. My weight's in the front of my lead foot, so I'm up in the balls of the toes. And I'm going to come through and I'm going to punch my left leg through the band up. So the band has my left leg. So here, punch. Step back, punch. Pause, be dramatic for a second. Step back, punch. Step back, punch that knee through. So we want to make that movement explosive. Explode out of there, punch out, hold it, own it, okay? Left foot works on the hinge, left foot works on the punch, okay? Come back, right foot on the hinge, 8 to 10 reps, right foot on the punch, okay? Really focus on punching that knee up. If you don't have a band, we can just work the motion normally. Step back, pump that knee up, pause, own it, okay? Working on a little athleticism, a little power, a little explosiveness. The band will help us. If we don't have the band, that's okay. We can still get something out of it. So, again, we're going to alternate right foot, left foot, left foot. So you'll alternate in between these exercises, not so much sides, the exercises. We'll do 4 sets. So, do the right, left, right, left. We'll alternate through 4 times. Our last round here is going to be a simple oblique crunch with a rear raise. So we're working on some lateral core, some of that rotation. We're going to work on our upper back, our postural muscles, and just keeping that shoulder happy. And then giving people the option to do kind of whatever cardio they want. Some people like to sprint outside because the weather's getting warmer. Some people like to do the Versa climber because they're crazy. Some people like the bike because they're evil. Okay, some people like the rower because they're smart, and then some people like to do med ball slams, or we'll maybe have an athlete that's working on some sort of special skill, and we'll kind of integrate that. So whatever the cardio you want to do, the focus is going to be short and intense bouts. If it's a sprint, we're trying to sprint for less than 20 seconds. If you're on the bike, we want to be on the bike for under 45 seconds, under 30 seconds. The rower, we want to be on the rower for under a minute. So it kind of depends upon how, what implement you're using on how intense that we go. But for the 2 exercises, or the 2 lifts that we're going to do, we're going to have a bench. I'm going to get my hip on the very edge of the bench, and then my hand is on the ground directly beneath my shoulder. So we are on the very edge of the bench. I'm going to loop my feet underneath. So my bottom leg is in front, my top leg is on top. So we got the top back, just like you would ride in your convertible. You got your top back. We're going to take this hand and remove it. Now this may be a challenge just to hold this. That's a great exercise. You can also dip, crunch, and rotate up. Crunch and rotate up. When I rotate up, think about pulling from this left shoulder blade, the top shoulder blade here, right here. We want to reach down and then pull back with that. And that lat and that oblique work together to rotate us. And that helps us in any rotational sports that we play, helps us from when we bend over and pick something up, and we have a slight bit of rotation, our back doesn't seize up. Okay, this is a fantastic exercise. In addition, you can do those rotations, do like 8 to 10, and then do a hold right here. Try to hold like a flagpole, completely straight, and hold long. Okay, hit both sides, 8 to 10 reps, 10 second isometric hold. Now I'm going to be on an incline bench. Okay, you can rig this up however you need to. Okay, I've got light weights here. I've got 2 10-pound weights, and that's plenty for me. I'm going to get in my seat here. I'm going to get my chest proud. All right. Ladies, sometimes you need to be a little taller. Pick your spot. If you're a shorter person, sometimes you can kneel here. But ideally, we're standing. We've got our dumbbells. And I'm going to fly back while keeping my chest proud. And I'm going to keep my palms facing backwards. Every time I go back, I'm trying to peel my shoulder blades back and almost touch the dumbbells together behind me. Notice how I'm controlling my descent. I'm not just letting it swing. It's not like that. I'm very controlled. Pause, let her down. Control, pause, let it down. Control, pause, let it down. Just like that. And I'm keeping everything nice, controlled, okay? Then we go on to our cardio piece like we talked about, okay? So pick something you like, pick something you're working on. Make something fun. If you can get outside, do that. It's always great to get outside. Integrate that with this. If you're running a sprint, or doing something that's high energy like that, give yourself 2 minutes rest before you come back with this, okay? Oblique crunch, we're gonna do 8 to 10 each side, then if you can, get that hold at the end for another 8 seconds, or reverse flies here. Again, all the reps under control. We're gonna do 12 to 15 reps there, so we're gonna do quite a few. Stay focused on this. We're feeling it back of the shoulder, the lats, the triceps even. Okay, so focus on what's working there. And then, if you want to, get your cardio in, high intensity, short duration. Everything's under a minute. Things like sprints are gonna be on the lower side. Things like the rower are gonna be a little bit on the higher side, but everything's gonna be under a minute. We'll get 3 to 5 sets of this depending upon your time, depending upon how trained you are, if you can handle 3 to 5, depending upon how late in the session we are. A lot of things go into it. 3 to 5 reps is our goal. Have fun.